The girl who'd been violated stood on the bridge, but just as she was about to jump, she spotted an ad for a revenge taxi. The word revenge on it sparked a tiny flicker of hope. She dialed the number on the sign. Jack picked up and soon picked her up. Sitting in the car, the girl asked frantically where they were going. Jack hit the recorder and told her to tell her story. Her name was Lisa. She grew up in an orphanage, diagnosed with level 3 intellectual disability. Lisa always wanted to work hard, earn money, and give her younger siblings a better life. She'd even earned a certificate in word processing. Then a social worker from the orphanage, Anna, told her about a factory that made seafood sauce. They were hiring clerks, and the owner was apparently a saint, never discriminated against the disabled and provided free room and board. Naive Lisa believed every word. At the factory, they were greeted by the boss's brother-in-law. The foreman eyed Lisa up and down in a deeply unsettling way, then tricked her into signing a grossly unfair labor contract. Lisa thought she'd just met a great guy, but when she walked into the workshop, she was horrified to find workers with ghostly faces scaling fish. Even Lisa was forced to do that job. Her first instinct was to refuse, but right then, the factory owner walked in. Lisa tried to tell him she wanted to leave. He responded by shoving her head into a tub of ice water. Then he beat her senseless. Afterward, he locked her in the factory freezer. Wearing only thin clothes, Lisa begged to be let out. Instead, the boss dumped coarse salt all over her. Then he slammed the heavy wooden lid shut, trapping her inside. By morning, when he opened the barrel again, Lisa had passed out. Wanting to break her spirit, the boss poured scalding hot water on her face. After that inhuman physical and mental torture, Lisa finally broke. Like the other disabled workers lured there, she put on the uniform red pants and started working. But even then, Lisa never gave up on escaping. One late night, while the foreman slept, she climbed over the high factory wall and ran. On a rural road nearby, she got lucky and ran into a patrol car. Crying, she told the cops everything and begged for help. But to her shock, the cop kept staring at her red pants. They threw her in the cruiser. But the destination wasn't the police station. It was the very hellhole she'd just escaped. The officer had long been bought by the factory boss. The boss made all employees wear red pants so that if anyone ran, they could be ID'd and dragged back fast. That failed escape shattered Lisa even deeper. She wasn't just beaten bloody by the boss and cops. The foreman started sexually assaulting her regularly after that. This went on for a long time. Lisa couldn't take the inhuman torment anymore. She tried to end it all by cutting her wrists. Luckily, the foreman found her in time and rushed her to the hospital. To avoid trouble, the boss ordered the foreman to guard Lisa 24/7. But Lisa didn't give up on survival. While the foreman dozed off, she slipped out of the hospital again. On the road, she ran into cops once more. But this time, she didn't dare trust them. With nowhere to go, she eventually ended up back on that bridge. Jack's anger grew as he listened to her tragic story. He drove her to a nearby arcade and handed her an envelope. Inside were a few arcade tokens and a note. The note said the arcade machine was where revenge requests were accepted. Press the blue button on the left if she chose revenge. Press the red one on the right if she chose forgiveness. Lisa stared at it and slammed the blue button for revenge. Back at the base, the revenge squad sat around the radio. They listened in silence to Lisa's heartbreaking recording. When it ended, the room was dead quiet. Carl listed their 4 targets. First, the ruthless factory boss. Second, the accomplice foreman. Third, the corrupt cop in league with them. Fourth, the shady social worker Anna, who pushed Lisa into the fire. Early the next morning, Jack disguised himself as a regular cabbie. He headed to the factory for a recon mission. Meanwhile, Jenny, John, and Mark sat in a van camouflaged as a fried chicken delivery truck. They provided remote tech support for Jack. After Jack relayed the factory's exact location, Jenny hacked into the nearby surveillance network. Through the cameras, they saw the factory gates locked from the outside at night like a prison. That night, Jack infiltrated the factory. He saw scattered dried fish, icy tools, and smelled the pungent stench in the air. Digging deeper, he learned the foreman often used a toy gun to scare and control workers. He even took Lisa into the toilets to assault her. The team quickly drafted phase 1 of the plan: break into the bosses' and foremen's homes, install bugs and surveillance software. Their research showed the foreman was a stingy guy who loved fried chicken. So John and Mark dressed as staff for a new fried chicken shop. They handed out buy one, get one free flyers near the factory. The foreman took the bait immediately. That night, he called the number on the flyer. Jenny took the order and tipped off John and Mark. They mixed a powerful knockout drug into the seasoning pack for the chicken. Then they delivered it warm and friendly right to his hands. The unsuspecting foreman and boss finished the free dinner and crashed hard. Jack moved in on their place soon after, with Jenny guiding him remotely. He successfully planted microbugs and monitoring apps on both their phones. He even cracked open their safe. Inside were just ordinary documents and some creepy, compromising photos of Lisa. Jack was furious, but for the sake of the op, he slipped away. The next day, Jenny listened in on their calls. She learned the factory was converting massive profits into barrels of seemingly worthless seafood sauce. When Jenny looked it up online, she was shocked. Each barrel of that sauce sold for a huge price on the market, and their warehouse held over 50 barrels. Jack then posed as a deep-pocketed seafood sauce merchant. The boss, seeing dollar signs, talked business immediately. Jack kicked things off by claiming he wanted to buy all 50 barrels. He flashed a whole case of cash and offered a 30% deposit on the spot. But this boss, already skating on the edge of crime, sensed something was off. He tested the waters by jacking up the deposit demand to 50%. Jack pretended to grimace, acting like he was struggling. After some back and forth, he reluctantly agreed. He signed the contract right there. The boss thought he'd just landed a massive deal. He had no idea a meticulously designed trap had already silently snapped shut around him.